All right, everybody, it's France, man. Let's get our weigh-ins and picks and predictions for Smack Volume 2. I'm here alone in the studio, so I definitely wanted to get my weigh-in on this card. I'm going to start off from the top to the bottom with the rematch and the headliner of the card, Arsenal, the Rebel versus Hollow, the Dinnin' On. Oh my God, this is nostalgic for me. For many battle rap fans, they go back in the early 2000s, 2005, 6, 7, 8, even 9 and 10. You will remember this battle very clearly. This is the last when they battled on Fight Club. That was the last Fight Club they aired on TV. They actually battled on March 30th, 2009, Monday Night Fight Club, and look at that. The battle is almost at the exact same date, 9 years later. So, going into the battle, right? This is what I want to say about Hollow. Since 2010, after Hollow battled Big T, he has never not been the main event. Every single battle he's had after Big T, he's been the main event. I mean, with the exception of Disaster and Hollow, the surprise battle. But let's be honest, Diz and Hollow could headline any King of the Dot card with their eyes closed. They could give a headline a Smack card. So Hollow Don's a ticket seller. He's the guy you use to pack out venues. When he battles, he uses crowd participation. He has his performance, a variety of unorthodox skills and attributes and approaches, angles, and he's a strategic guy. That's how he wins his matches. But I think a lot of those attributes are stripped in the small room because now he's forced to rap. I do think Hollow has grown more of a battler than Arsenal has. If you look back from when they battled in 2009 to their present career, I have no doubt and no question in my mind that Hollow has probably maybe a better career, a better URL resume, and he has grown more. Arsenal definitely peaked probably by like 2014, 2015. You can pick it wherever you want to pick it at. But in their first match, I do believe Arsenal was the more lyrical MC, unlike Hollow. And more importantly, between 2010 to now, Arsenal has had a variety of small room battles. Hollow hasn't. So I think Arsenal is going to be fitting in the environment. And I won't lie, I know Hollow always has angles prepared for his opponents. But there's always two sides to a story. So I'm going with Arsenal 2-1. Next battle in the card is Cortez and O-Red, the champion of the year versus Cortez. Listen, O-Red had an impressive 2017. Congrats on getting champion of the year. It's going to be interesting to see if he can carry over that momentum into 2018. But there's something I want to acknowledge for Cortez because he has some accolades on URL that I feel sometimes get swept under the rug. On URL, Cortez has 5 battles where he studied his opponents, 3 of them being in the vault. If you want me to name them, I can name them. Young Ill, Tech 9, Uno Lavas, Prez Mafia, Cicero. He's had 5 battles on URL in small room settings. And he's faced a variety of style, talent, and more importantly, different classes of battlers in URL. He's battled the PG class 2013 or 2014, 2016, you name it, right? I do think Cortez is more lyrical than O-Red, but O-Red is definitely a sharper puncher and can land harder haymakers. But Cortez has finally realized that he has something to prove to the battle rap community. And he's been consistent. And every single year, since 2014 and on, I've seen him incline in 2014, 15, 16, 17. He gets better and better. And if we're going to be honest with ourselves, we've seen O-Red at Volume 1 against Briz. I have O-Red winning the battle, but we don't talk much about that battle because it wasn't an outstanding performance. If Cortez beats O-Red clearly, he makes a statement with this win. And he puts himself in Champion of the Year contentions and the conversation. Cortez 2-1. Next battle on the card, John the Don versus Rum Nitty. I have a lot to say about this. I have a lot of positive things to say about John because I've seen the culture. As usual, we have undermined John, and he's the underdog in the situation. Some people think Rum Nitty's actually going to 30 John, which is a little far-fetched to me, but let's be honest. John is usually the underdog and doesn't always get the credit he deserves. If you ask me, he's a better rapper than Rum. A better performer. He's an underrated angler. He fuels off motivation. And he's strategic. He knows how to win battles and adapt during the rounds and to the crowd. You know, if this battle's on the stage, I can honestly see John leaving the building with a 2-1 clear, or maybe even a 30. He will follow the same recipe of success JC did with Rum Nitty. But this is why I respect John because he preferred to take Rum Nitty in a small room. He said it in his interview with Hip Hop Is Real. He preferred to battle Rum Nitty in a small room because he acknowledges Rum Nitty is dangerous in a small room. That means John has something up his sleeve and he is motivated for this match. But again, all the attributes that favor John are stripped away in the small room. And now, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but if we've seen Rum Nitty's performance at Volume 1, it's really hard to go against it, you know? The time frame that John takes to set up a punch, you know, his 4-bar setup, Rum Nitty can land 2 haymakers, but before John can land 1. I've seen a handful of John battles in small rooms, and I've seen some of them live. He tends to stale out sometimes. Eventually, there's highlights and momentum rises and falls in his rounds, where some of his bars hit, some of them don't. Some of them set up, and they end flat. That's not going to happen with Rum Nitty, you know? Many battlers saw Rum Nitty and Iron and said that was the best battle they seen in their life. Let that sink in for a second. Because these are guys that's probably seen over hundreds of battles live. And they said that Rum Nitty and Iron Solomon was the best they seen in their life. He was on another world in the small room. He landed about 90 to 95% of his lines. He connected on everything. He was extremely comfortable. And I believe he can replicate that performance. I have Rum Nitty 2-1 in a competitive match. Very competitive match. It's not going to be easy for anybody. It's going to be a dogfight. Nobody's winning this battle clearly. But I'm going with Rum Nitty 2-1. The next match on this card, New Jersey Twork and Averb. Man, this is the match, honestly, I'm looking forward to the most, to be quite honest with you. Verb's honestly been dying to be back in the setting where the crowd has zero effect on him. Has zero effect on his focus and on his performance and his lyricism. You know, we've seen Verb in tons of performances where he tries to cater to the crowd. Some hit, some miss. And we can be honest, sometimes the crowd treats him unfairly, and sometimes he's not up to par with whatever Averb that we are expecting. But regardless, throw all that out the window. Because right now he's ready to show you why he believes his pen is the best in battle rap. And as for New Jersey Twork, he had an impressive win on Volume 1 against JC. And let me add that JC, in my opinion, is definitely one of the most lyrical battlers we have out. And JC has consistently shown us that he's efficient and dominant in a small room. JC made his rep in a small room. He didn't make his rep on the big stages. We know JC for who he is, and we love him for who he is, for what he's done in the small room. So for Twork to be able to overcome and beat that, it came out of Twork having respect for JC and being motivated for the match. And then we've seen the results. Twork has stated on the record he has respect for Averb. And more importantly, Twork is coming off a bad performance and a loss against Mr. Wavy. There's a window of redemption available, and he has respect for Verb. We're going to get a Twork that's very motivated. This has the potential to be a classic and battle of the night, if you ask me. But if you've been following Averb since 2009, you will know just as well as I do. He's given us legendary performances in the small room. He's lyrically one of the best in the Midwest. And despite whatever taints you want to throw on Verb's resume, throw it out the window, because his history in battle rap is cemented in the culture. And, you know, when you put Verb against the right style, he's motivated. Styles make fights. Look at his battle with B-Dot. He was motivated. That was a good Verb. I'm going with Verb 2-1 in this battle. Now, this may be my most outlandish pick, and I know majority of people may disagree with me, but hear me out. T-Top and Big K. Big K, in my opinion, is on a losing streak. You know, I've seen 2 of his last 3 battles live, and I also had the pay-per-view for one of his battles, so I have him being edged out by Pass. I have him getting 30'd by Old Red. And I have him losing clearly rounds 2 and 3 to John John at Live for Soul 4. When I think of Big K, I think of him being as consistent as possible. He's consistent. He's going to always give you 3 solid rounds of battle. And that's good. But the thing is, solid rounds can be beaten. Sometimes he just leaves the door open, doesn't close the deal. He ends his round short at times. And sometimes Big K hits and misses with his approaches and his angles. He had an effective angle against JC, an ineffective angle against All Red. It happens. He doesn't always stick with his angles. But T-Top, on the other hand, he's one of the best anglers we have in this game, next to Real Deal Murder Mook. Murder Mook has even considered battling T-Top and stayed on the record that was in the plans to battle T-Top, but that's a whole nother conversation. Look, T-Top has evolved over the years. Like, he can perform, he can do your 4-bar punch, he can freestyle, he can story tell, he has wordplay, and T-Top is smart enough to know what is going to work and what's not going to work. He's not going to use the white angle against Big K because he's aware the white angle has been ineffective against Big K. And I know we love Big K for his small room moments, his PG, Battle with Rosenberg Raw, a couple of other small room battles. I can go on and on. But let me remind everybody that T-Top went viral in a small room setting. The UFF tournament that he won, his last battle against Snow, yeah, that went viral. And that performance got him to be the headliner of Rookies versus Vets for a reason. I just think T-Top has enough versatility to outclass Big K each round. That's why I got T-Top winning this battle 3-zip. T-Top 30. And the last battle on the card, Mike P versus Young Cannon. Well, see, I like this match a lot too. Mike P's experienced. On the big stage, he knows what to do. He's gone toe-to-toe lyrically with Daylight, and I love that battle. I think that's one of my favorite Mike P battles. He has enough personality and performance to always sway over the crowd and charisma. And I like that a lot about Mike P. He's very different and he's a breath of fresh air when I see him battle. He had a battle on Volume 1 against Suge, and he took a loss there. And that recent loss he took, it taught him so much. He left there with so much value and lessons, and he said it on Hip Hop Is Real. He said it himself that he knows now what works, what doesn't work, what to do, and what not to do. And if there's anybody that I can trust that will bounce back and perform well again, is Mike P. And plus, he's been calling out Young Cannon for a while. They've been going back and forth. You don't go back and forth with somebody if you don't have something up your sleeve. But unfortunately, this is another battle where I think a stage favors a rapper more than the small room. Mike P on the stage could easily perform, could easily joke, and could easily manipulate a crowd against Young Cannon. But in the small room, let me make this clear. Young Cannon has beaten in the small room and battled Tay-Rock, Danger Zone, O-Red, JC. And these are all small room settings. And the mid to big room settings, he's battled Danny Myers, Chilla Jones, Cortez, B Magic, John the Don. He's beating them all. His resume and win speaks for itself. Yeah, he's been battling longer than Mike P and has about maybe 5 times the amount of battles. But as well as in his battles, he's battled about 30 times in the small room. So I think the small room does have more of an advantage for Young Cannon. So if you ask me, I'm going with Young Cannon 2-1, and that's how I'm calling it.